All right, it is question and answer time. Excuse me.
Oh boy.
Everybody who asked, fuck, I can't even talk. Everybody who asked a question will automatically be entered into a separate scratch ticket draw.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's big time.
It is big time. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to read off the questions.
Okay.
And we'll see who said what here. Okay, here we go. This is a week ago. All right, so first question comes to us from Friendlial, and he asks me.
Who?
Friendlial.
Friendlial?
Actually, both of you can answer this because I'll answer it too.
Okay.
If you had a choice between having hours of unprotected sex with Charlie Sheen and Magic Johnson, or having poop put into your IV bag daily while you were in the hospital, which would you choose? That's easy. The poop.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd go poop.
Okay.
Yeah, well, just think about the first one, okay?
Yeah.
Unprotected gay male sex
Yeah.
with Charlie Sheen and fucking Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's close to fucking
Death.
Yeah, you're
suicide.
kind of getting poop in your old IV bag anyway. You know what I mean?
You're gonna enjoy every ounce of that shit.
Sure. Why are you even, you asked me, Yulia9999, why are you even friends with McLovin? He is with Kenny's daughter, so you have to, right? He is with Kenny's daughter.
Yeah.
So no, he is not with Kenny's daughter,
Right.
unless we know some, he knows something we don't know.
I've never met the young lady. I'm
Sure.
sure knowing she's Kenny's daughter, I'm sure she's a great girl. But I don't even know. Never even met her.
So why am I friends with McLovin? Me and Pat, we really we started. Fuck, we're at work one day and we started talking about our OCD situations.
Well,
and
it all started. He didn't know my name for a while
Sure.
because I wasn't doing my job correctly until I started doing my job, and I was on fire. He was at my table more often than not.
Sure.
And from there, the OCD, the sports. That's when we started the football show, and we think alike, we act alike, and it's pretty sick. But
Yeah. All right, so here we go. So we have a ton of questions from Yes to Anything That Is Cool Awesome, one of the loyal viewers. Number one, for all three of us, did you attend a college, university? If so, what is your alma mater? So Kenny, go ahead.
Nassau Community College in Long Island, and some college. I almost graduated, but I didn't.
Okay.
I started at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, and I went there on a baseball scholarship. Then I transferred to the University of Rhode Island, was there for 2.5 years, and then when I got my job out with the 49ers, I ended up just staying out in California, and I ended up at Notre Dame Dana-Murray University. It's a small school in Belmont, California, okay, the Pioneers. So those are the three schools I've been to.
And for me, I was supposed to play hockey, Division III hockey for Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts. This was back in 2002. And I'm getting scouted out to go play. They don't give, obviously, scholarships for Division III. But it was one of those, if I made the team, I'm pretty much guaranteed to get into the school. Mm-hmm. Okay, one of those deals. It was they were really funny. I actually got my acceptance letter literally the next day, like 2 days after I sent in my application. Right. And then 2 weeks after that, I finally got a letter saying we were reviewing your application.
Wow.
Dated after they accepted me.
Okay.
So obviously that had something to do with it. And obviously I didn't play hockey because the school had budget cuts that year. I didn't play baseball for 2 years.
All right.
All three, what is your favorite sport to play and watch, Kenny?
Baseball.
What about to watch? To play
Same.
and watch?
Same, yeah.
Same for baseball, okay.
Probably, I played baseball my whole life, unless you consider like blackjack a sport. But definitely for baseball, and then watching wise, it's really it's a tie. I'll have a 1A and 1B. It's either college basketball or NFL football. There's nothing like college basketball in March. There's nothing that compares to it. But overall, across the board, I'd have to say NFL football. Those would be my two.
All right, for me, this is tough. To play, For all my life was baseball, but then I played hockey in high school. And my first time playing hockey ever, and skating and everything else and everything that entails with it. There's just a rush you get playing hockey and you don't get playing baseball. It's like McLovin, I'd say 1A, 1B would be baseball and hockey. To watch, definitely football. I mean, that's easy for me. To watch is definitely football. Baseball would be second to watch. All three of us, what is the sexiest body part on a female and why? Kenny?
Wow. I'm gonna go with breasts, I guess.
Okay. McLovin?
It all depends. I mean, it's such a,
Yeah, it's a great area.
you can say a lot. I mean, when you line up 10 different broads, you know, you can say 10 different things about each broad individually. You know, it's probably
Remember, body part, not feature.
body part. Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah, probably ass.
Okay. As for him?
Yeah,
For you.
probably overall because you know when you meet these broads on the side of the street, very rarely they have fake tits. You know, they have normal tits. I kind of like. I mean, I was in strip clubs, you know, for a good part of my life, so I do like the fake tits. But one thing is probably the buttocks.
For me, it's tits.
Because a guy likes something to look at and hold on to.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was funny. All right, number 4. Fuck, for all three of us. Big booty Judy or big breasted Brittany. Basically, are you more of an ass breast man and why? So, Kenny?
Ask that one more time.
All right, it's real simple. Are you a breast man or an ass man?
Well, I
Pick
covered
one.
that. Yeah, breast man.
Breast man. Why, though? Is it something to grab onto, like I said?
Yeah, because I'm not gay, Andy.
Okay, yeah.
Now, like I said, it goes back and forth. You know.
Well, tits do sometimes.
Correct. I mean, a tall blonde with a big rack is something you never steer away from. But I think there are some broads with a perfect ass that you can't really turn down either. So I'm gonna have to still, gun to my head, go with the big booty Judy.
For me, it's tits. More of a tits man than an ass man. There's just something about them. Bigger the better. Not fake though. I hate fake big tits. That's to me is enough. But like gigantic. Unless I'm not talking about like a woman who's overweight who just has J's or G's or whatever. That's ridiculous. Too big is too big.
Right.
A nice double D.
On a proportionately sized.
Sure.
Right.
That's the deal.
Sure.
Number 5. All three. Are you more into blondes, brunettes, redheads, etc.?
That's a tough one. I don't have a particular. Redheads definitely not. I'm not.
Okay.
Definitely.
Not.
I've dated all three types. Redhead, you really it really has to come all together in order for me to be attracted to a redhead. I would say overall, blonde is always my go-to for sure. That was always what I went after when I was dating flight attendants and everything like that. But I like brown, I like black, but if I had to choose, it'd be blonde.
Blonde and brunette for me. Redheads, not really. There are 2 redheads on the top of my head that I would say maybe 2. They're both actresses. Julianne Moore is one, and Lindsay Lohan. Okay. Number 6, Andy and McLovin. Are you both single? The answer is yes for me.
Sure.
Yes for McLovin.
Single and ready to mingle.
7, for all three of us. Does religion, race, political preferences matter when searching for potential relationships, one-nighters, wifey material? Kenny.
It's a big question.
That is a big question.
I got a lot of answers for this question.
I know you do. I know you do. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, how much time do we have on the tape?
I don't know.
We got a lot. Let's go. Let's get the answer.
Let's get the answer.
Enough of the, fucking foreplay here. Let's go right into the thing.
Wow. Race kind of does. The others no.
Okay, McLovin.
What's the question again?
Does religion, race, political preferences matter when searching for potential relationships or one-nighters and/or wifey material?
Okay. Well, for the wife, for sure, is definitely gonna be a white person, Republican. that's a definite for me. One night stands, I could, I don't drink anymore, so usually if in the past I would anything that whether they're black or white, I don't want to sound racist. I mean, it's kind of a tough question.
Right.
I prefer white females over black females. I don't want to stick my foot too far in my mouth, but I just think that's the way it should be. White men should be with white girls, and black with black, and men should never marry each other. I think the Bible's pretty clear on what a marriage is, and it's a white man and a white woman. As far as one night stands, I didn't have any problems in the past, and Asians, I always had a thing for Asians. I've actually never been with a black broad before. Heard a lot of stories about it, but as far as wife, she has to be able to cook and clean, and make sure she's not so much a Republican, but as far away from a Democrat as you can possibly get. And yes, I was born Irish Catholic, so I'm a straight up Catholic. So if she were Jewish, for example, no offense, she'd have to be smoking hot for me to make all these exceptions. So that's my answer to that question.
All right, for me, religion, not really. Race, not race, somewhat. Political, not really. If we're talking one-nighters, it's one-nighter. Who gives a shit? Relationship would lead into wifey material, theoretically. So if it's a relationship where I'm just there for the sex, then no. If it's a relationship where there's emotional involvement included, and then somebody I would want to settle down with, then obviously, some of that would matter. Number 8, Andy and McLovin, do you ever plan on settling down in a relationship? If so, do you guys plan on getting married and having children?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually had a couple opportunities, and the girl I knew down in Texas, I met her. She worked at the Marriott, and I used to travel to Dallas a lot. I was close with her. Maybe we couldn't figure out the who was going to live where, and I had all these, my drinking issues, and I ended up going to rehab, and she went her other way. So I hope to, yes, for sure, have a family and at least one son. I can tell you that, so I can pass on my last name. But basically, yeah, I'd love to have a family and a dog and a white picket fence, and that's what I hope for. I'm not getting any younger, so we'll see if that can mean maybe I think I'm looking at a 6-year window right now. If I don't do anything by the time I'm 40, then I don't know what I'll be doing, but that's my answer for that question.
All right, for me, it was a girl. Kenny might remember this. I don't know if he was there or not when we were working together, but girl I went out with for about 6 months. Seemed like everything was going great, and then she turned a little bit strange on me, and turns out that she had a cocaine habit that she did not disclose. She lived with her mother at the time. She was 4 years older than I was, so when I was 28, she was 32. Wait a minute. Was I even 28? No, I was 26. She was 34. She was 8 years older than I was. She lived with her mother at 34, so that might have been a red flag, but it really wasn't. I said, whatever. I don't really judge, etc. But she turned into and then she relapsed, and that's all she wanted to do was just have sex and do drugs. And the sex was great, but the drugs was a no for me. Yeah. So fast forward, we're in 2012. I'm going out with this girl, blonde. I mean, everything. The only drawback to her was she had a ridiculous alcohol situation. She literally would come home so drunk and so hammered that even though we had sex, even though we had sex before a million times, I couldn't literally have sex with her. She was that wasted. It was bad. But other than that, everything was awesome about her. And but then nothing could happen because I was moving, I was getting promoted. I just didn't know when and where. Right. But I knew that was going to happen in 2012. She knew that. It was a new relationship. She wasn't moving anywhere with me. Sure. We'd been going out for a few months, if that. Right. So we knew where we stood. I ended up getting literally promoted 2 weeks after I told her about all this. And I was out in Illinois. Right. So now we're in 2013. I'm talking to this girl in Illinois. and I knew I was moving back
Right.
to Massachusetts. So that didn't last anywhere, and so that's where we've been, off and on hookups here and there, but that's about it.
Got it.
But as far as getting married and having children, yeah, it'd be great. In the same boat McLovin's in, really. I'm 32. You know, my dad, I think he had me when he was 38,
Okay.
and I was the oldest. So who knows? Maybe it's just a genetic thing where I'm predisposed to having a kid at 38. Who the hell
Right.
knows? Number 9, all three of us. Biggest turnoffs in potential relationships and opposite sex.
Biggest
You take this first one. I got
Biggest turnoffs in potential relationships in the opposite sex. Turnoffs.
tattoos for me
Okay.
is huge. Hate tattoos, especially colored tattoos on broads. Okay, hate that. I don't like all the piercings and all that other stuff, that other garbage. I like your typical broad, who is, brought up well, and doesn't have any shenanigans going on. I've dated a couple girls while I was in the program, and that's good. But if I'm gonna date someone that's in the program, then they have to remain clean. But biggest turnoffs, tattoos for sure.
Kenny?
tattoos and piercings. Yeah, I agree with them. I mean, one or two, ankle, shoulder, not a big deal. But
I'm talking about like those.
no, with
over
half the body is
Yeah,
covered.
yeah.
No, I get
Oh, and you know what else? Sorry, those fucking things in the ears, those big.
Oh, the big, yeah, like some
And then
yeah.
that is filthy.
like you can put your junk right through it.
Oh,
Is that what you say?
God.
Excessive drinking, like the girl that you were describing. Yeah, I mean, excessive is not.
Sure. Anything else? That's it?
That's it.
For me, tattoos is big. It would really, 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 really have to depend on what the girl's face looked like and
Right.
everything else for me to be able to get over that, but I'm not a fan of that. Tattoo, piercings, same deal. Ear piercings, fine. Nose, I'm not really a fan of all that other garbage. Turnoffs. Not fucking. I'm not saying you got to text back immediately, but fucking flakiness is fucking ridiculous. If you know you're gonna cancel something, just fucking do it. Just can't be a man.
Right.
Be a woman.
Yeah, I was gonna
Cancel-
say.
Fucking no, I'm serious.
No, you were
Be a
saying.
man and cancel a
Right.
fucking deal. Don't fucking play games and then
Right.
watch the
Well,
drama.
all the broads.
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
But another thing, broads tend to talk too much. Like I said, I think we went over this. I'm gonna institute a muzzle period, either from noon to midnight or from midnight to noon, where they just can't talk at all. So, and every day we would select which one she would want to do, and she just can't talk.
Kind of like a Stepford wife.
You can call it whatever you want.
In a sense.
But I have sisters, I have nieces, I have my mom, and it's just like yakety yak 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 yak, and they just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and don't shut the fuck up and talk and talk. This goes for all broads. So someone that knows to speak when spoken to more than anything else. So
Question 10. All three of us. If, quotes, if is in quotes,
Okay.
our President Donald Trump came out to the world and admitted to being a racist, would you still have voted for him and regret it?
If.
well, he is a racist.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Come on, Kenny.
I just still
Is it-
voted.
yeah,
Yeah,
come
I still
on.
voted for him. Yeah.
McLovin?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Donald Trump is the man. We went over this. Everyone got butthurt because of some of the comments we made
Yeah.
because they were Democrats and they were going to go for a dyke, liar, cheat, and piece of shit in Hillary Clinton. Whether Donald Trump is racist or not, I think inside, I think we're all racist. Whether it's black people hating white people, or the fact of the matter that you tell your son or your daughter when you're walking down the street and you see a black man coming by, you cross the street. And people don't have the balls to come out and say that type of stuff. People don't have the balls to come out and say that there is a difference between black people and white people. And you know, the whether or not you admit you're a racist or not, I would say 95% of America is racist. Either way, you know, you see Al Sharpton and all those, you know, animals, you know, complaining about the blacks, you know, Black Lives Matter and all this other garbage. Why don't we say White Lives Matter? When they say there's a black entertainment channel, give them, you know, why can't there be a white entertainment? Because then they'd be up in uproar. And, you know, the cops get a bunch of shit for doing their jobs, but they're not just randomly selecting, you know, guys on the street. They're obviously breaking the law. You know, that's the one thing that we miss in this whole cops on black men is that they're initiating by doing something, looting or raping or stealing or whatever, and then, you know, it's a black against white thing. It's always a black against race is always going to be a factor in our country forever. And all these, you know, black people still feeling like we should give them the benefit of the doubt because of slavery, and you know, slavery happened hundreds of years ago, but they still want to get, you know, handouts, and they can still cry this and cry that and play that race card. So, other than that, I would still vote for Trump.
Yeah, I would have voted for Trump regardless because I didn't want Hillary ever. Number 11, all three of us. Have you ever been arrested, and do you have any felonies on your record? Kenny.
Clean.
Oh boy.
Wouldn't it be fun if I said yes?
No, is anyone from working? I don't want to jeopardize myself.
Sure. Well, I mean, the other couple questions you've said answers to,
they're legit answers.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I've been arrested multiple times. During my drinking days, I've never been arrested sober. That's key. Let's say I got arrested underage drinking 3 or 4 times. While I was at URI, we were driving in a truck. It was like 2 a.m, and we were drinking there was a keg in the back of the truck, and we were drinking out of the keg. And the cop he was just following us, and we were trying to get as much beer as we could, so we got arrested for that. I got arrested for sneaking alcohol into the dorms multiple times. You know, it wasn't really an arrest, but I had to show up in court and everything like that. I've gotten 3 DUIs out in California, okay, for drunk driving and community service and all this loss of license. I've been gotten into fights outside. I got a drunk in public for that. I've been caught urinating in public at the outside of the building, you know, outside of a bar when I was pissing. I just had to piss, you know, and then, you know, and that was like no one else is looking. Who else is, you know? What else have I been arrested for? That's about it for Mike. And all of them are off my record. I'm clean now. I did all my time. Okay, so this is, you know, and you know, I had them, taken off my record. So, you know, even if you wanted to check up on it, it no longer exists. So, that's my history.
Me, not really. I told McLovin the story a couple weeks ago. Yeah. My mom did a scared straight thing with me. I got arrested in the Dedham Mall back when I was working there, and she wanted to scare me straight. I was a problem kid when I was younger, and so she threw me in the West Roxbury jail for a night to teach me a lesson. Question 12. Yeah, you didn't even know that, did you?
I didn't even know that story.
Yeah.
I tried to do that with my daughter once.
All three. Do any of you volunteer and or take time to participate in fundraisers, charities, or actually donate to institutions?
No.
I have done a lot of that. My first 2 years of sobriety, you know, I'd go to high schools and talk to, you know, the kids about drunk driving and the effects of the fact of the matter. The bottom line is, you know, you could be a great kid, you could be an unbelievable kid, A+ student, but if you make one bad decision and jump behind the wheel when you're driving, you could wreck your life, you know, or someone else's life forever. And you know, you could be an A+ student and be the best kid in the world, but if you have a drunk driving manslaughter, you're never going to get into the school, you're never going to get the job you want. So I used to speak to high schools, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. I used to go to the jail over at Berkshire Correctional, and I used to speak with the inmates every Wednesday night about alcoholism. I still go and do a monthly talk with the alumni share at Mountainside, and I basically, share to all the kids that are current or the people that are currently in rehabilitation. Telling my story. Yeah, and when I was in my sober house, we had to do all kinds of community service and helping out kids, and especially around the holidays. And so I've done quite a bit of that, and I've loved every second of it. But it truly makes you a better person. It really does.
Over the years, I've donated different charities and things like that, but I think the biggest thing I ever did, 2012, I had seen a video, I think it was on Facebook, about this woman who had all this money or whatever, and she went to a Walmart, and all the people that were trying to pay for their things on layaway.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, you remember this, yeah?
I remember.
And
Yep.
so I was like, that's really cool. So I went to the Pittsfield Walmart here, and I did that for, I think I got
remember that.
$1,000. Forget what I did. I said, here's $1,000. And what I did is they had me buy a gift card for $1,000, and I just kept swiping for people.
Awesome.
And I wanted, I wanted it to be quiet. I didn't want a big brouhaha
Right.
about it. And all it's because it's awkward, people coming over and looking at you and all this other garbage.
Right.
Yeah, but
And
they're
of course, they were. A lot of them were. A lot of them turned to me and said, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And they fucking, which I wasn't happy about, only because I didn't want anybody to know it was me who was doing it.
Sure,
Correct.
sure.
But anyway, so that's what happened there. All right, that was it for Yes Anything is Cool Awesome. Now we get to Yee Yee Nation. And Yee Yee Nation says, if you were to go on a vacation anywhere outside the United States, where would you go and why? Kenny?
Been to Mexico. I really enjoyed that. I wouldn't mind going back there again. Wow, anywhere in the world. Bora Bora. I've heard many good things
Why
about it. Just because I heard a lot of things. Where is that one? I can't think of it. They talk about it all the time. It's going to come to me as soon as McLevin
Fiji?
starts talking. No.
Where?
Aruba would be nice.
Aruba?
Go to McLevin. There's a plan. I'm going to think of it as soon as.
Oh, God.
Well, I am going to Aruba. In less than
January 8th?
Yeah, in about 2 weeks. Just for my work, but I would have never gone to Aruba on my own. The only place I like to vacation is Ireland with my dad. We go over there, we play golf, and we still have cousins over there. And it's cool, going over and seeing your distant cousins that live in Ireland. I just love Ireland. That's where my family's from. It's beautiful over there. The golf courses are amazing. So Ireland, number one, and there's really not a number two.
For me, obviously, I'm also going to Aruba January 8th to the 13th. I'm going to see if there's any scratch tickets down there in Aruba. I wonder if there is. Probably not because there's a casino.
Yeah.
Probably not, right?
There probably
Who knows?
is.
Oh, if there is, it'd be great. And we'll do
There's
scratch
the
ticket
thing about
Thursday
it,
over
there's
there.
degenerates everywhere.
Sure. Country, I'd like to see Italy. I'd like to see Scotland, only because of Highlander, the series Highlander. I fucking love that movies and and all the stuff, the hills of Scotland, all this stuff, the Highlands of But Italy, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Europe, not like Greece or any of that garbage, but like England and fucking shit like that.
I've been to England.
Yeah.
3 times. I went to England 3 times in less than 6 months when we played the Broncos, and I actually took this super fast train. I went to Paris for like an hour, and then I jumped back and went. But London's awesome.
All right, so Cali Guy says, what is the most you have spent on one session of scratching, and how did you become such a generous person, or have you always been that way? It's obviously to me. So, well, the first question is, well, Kenny, what's the most you've ever spent on scratching tickets?
Me
That you've
pers-
actually spent?
Me
on?
personally,
Yeah.
individually,
Yeah,
$100.
okay,
Me, just on my own.
correct.
I think I've done the most. I think I bought $10, $30 tickets. It's 300
Sure.
at one shot.
Most would be the books
Right.
of tickets. I've
Yeah,
done.
well, I did the book with you,
Yeah, we split it though, right?
but that was 500 apiece.
All right, so that's, there you go.
yeah,
There
but
you
I'm
go.
talking about it.
Well, that's still the same
okay,
thing.
I got you.
That's still the same thing. So the $1,500 book, I think, was the most we ever spent.
Correct.
Right?
Probably, yeah.
And then generous person. Well, here's the deal. I grew up. This is my upbringing. I think I've talked to McLovin about this. I might have talked to Kenny about this.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to a private school throughout middle school, and I was the poorest kid in the class. And all these kids in the middle school had all the parents had all these money. They were doctors and lawyers and gynecologists and all this other garbage. And they all lived in the nice fucking family in the houses and everything else and all this stuff. And it's not like my mom was a deadbeat. I mean, she did everything she could, single parent family and everything else. Mm-hmm. So I knew what it was like to not have a lot. And I'm in the position, the job I have has put me in a position over the last 10 years to be able to do certain things that I may not have been able to do. And I'm not looking at people and saying, oh, well, I get to help out poor people or whatever the case may be, so look at me, so I can sleep at night or any of that stuff. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, here's my theory on this. I posted something like this on Facebook once, and I got so much backlash. And then I got people who agreed, and I got people who just... And I said, look, all these people who complain about, I don't have a coat for my kid. It's wintertime. Oh, the economy, and oh this, and oh that. Well, they're the same people who are out at night, partying, getting drunk, blowing their money on garbage, spreading their legs and drinking, getting pregnant, and all this stuff. Where was your money? Where were you saving your money at when you knew that winter was coming and you needed to buy a coat for your kid?
Right.
What happened to all your money?
Right.
You have enough money to go out and drink. You don't have enough money to buy a coat? The fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
So that, to me, angers me. But to the people who genuinely do the best they possibly can and are trying to make a better life for themselves and their luck just sucks, that's a different story for me. Because that was my mom.
Right.
Okay? Did the best she could, worked her ass off and everything else just to be able to have me and my sister have a life. Okay? And I'll try to help anybody like that I can. And that's really what it is. Yulia has another question. How much money do you make on YouTube? Not as much as you may think.
Right.
Okay? Very little. We usually do this for whatever we get each month is probably enough to go eat at TGI Fridays or something like
Pretty
that.
much.
That's what we do. But it's nice to having a channel. It's something to do. It's exciting to meet different people and connect that way. Cali guy. Also a question for McLovin. If I sent you some highlights of my nephew playing freshman football for LA Meridia High,
Absolutely.
would you give me your honest opinion of how he plays?
Absolutely. I have no problem with that. I did that for years in college evaluating high school kids. I'd have no problem. Or if anyone has in the same situation, if they want to send me anything, I'll look at them and I'll give you an honest evaluation. I'd have no problem doing that.
Yulia says, have you ever noticed how much Winnie loves all the gift scratchers except McLovin?
No.
Winnie actually loves McLovin.
No.
Okay. Winnie loves him. She loves him so much to the point where she literally would want to sleep downstairs.
Correct. Let's get the facts out.
Correct.
Winnie and I have a special relationship, right, Win? Yep. See, I gave her a nice treat today because she was a good girl. I got one for later. Winnie and I have developed a special bond. And, Andy has to pry her away from her doggy bed downstairs.
Yep.
And even this week, she slept out 2 nights. She cheated on you 2 nights.
Yep.
So me and Win have a great relationship.
Correct.
But Winnie is a lovely dog, very happy, very smart. She loves seeing people. She has her downfalls as well. Taking a shit in the house and pissing and throwing up. But other than that, we're gonna keep her around for a couple months.
What do you think? What do you think, Win? Oh fuck! Here we go. Here she comes.
There you go.
Oh boy!
Come on, it's my time to shine.
All right.
Winnie is actually turning 11.
In January 10th.
January. Oh,
Happy birthday, Winnie!
We'll have to have a special for her.
Correct.
Yeah, Winnie special.
Winnie, she's in the most rewarding years of her life.
When he needs a mint.
When he needs them in, yeah.
Well, shit. Fuck.
All right. Scratch Ticket Player says, when did you start doing lottery tickets as a hobby? This is a funny story. This channel is supposed to be a video game channel. I'm trying to implement as much as I can in there, but it wasn't, for what I mean, it's hard starting a brand new channel, getting views. So me and Kenny just said, screw it. We're going to bought a book of scratch tickets. That first ever, it's called Winning Scratch Tickets, over 100,000 views, which is pretty cool. And we put it up there, and we've got, and you know, and now we're at this point now. So look, she's smiling. See, she's looking right at McLovin. And she's smiling at him. See, when he smiled at McLovin.
I win.
See, there she is. Oh, there she goes.
Yeah, she knows where bread. She knows where bread is buttered. Right?
So, but that's pretty much now. When I was a kid, I have severe OCD now, but I had really bad OCD then. And literally, I would collect all the losing scratch tickets for I don't know what reason. I would go to the Gary's Liquors in West Roxbury in that little circle there, and I would collect every scratch ticket that was a loser. They'd give me by the barrelfuls, and I had them in my room in my house, all laid out by ticket.
Right.
And a funny story, okay? My mom, my grandmother, my grandfather never knew this, so they weren't placating me. Oh, look at you, you figured something out. They literally were honest with me years later. I was the first one in my family to figure out the code on the tickets. They didn't know there was a code. They didn't understand. So, for example, 1 ONE, 2 TWO, whatever, 3 THR, whatever the case was. They had no idea, so that was the first, but I used to do that as a kid. Thomas Kirkland, where was your favorite vacation spot? Kenny, where's your favorite vacation spot?
I'm in Mexico right now.
Okay, McLovin said Ireland, right?
Ireland. I took a cruise to. We went to the Bermuda, which is pretty nice, but definitely Ireland.
For me, this is the places I've been. I've been to Florida a bunch of times. I went to Orlando first for my first time a few weeks ago, whatever it was, a month and a half ago. But I went to, for college baseball, we went down to Port Charlotte, and we played in the Port Charlotte Invitational, and we stayed at Fort Myers one year. And the other year we stayed in Port Charlotte when they had the hurricane. The year after they had the hurricane and all this other stuff happened. That's when we stayed in Fort Myers that one year. Literally like right minutes away from the Red Sox training complex there. I've been to obviously throughout New England. I don't really care for it. I've been to St. Croix. It was all right. Funny story. I'm walking down to St. Croix in Christiansted, where I stayed, and I'm walking down the street, and there's this little parking lot with like chickens or roosters running around, and there's this homeless man tapping his foot and clapping his hands and laughing at the roosters right there. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. You have to be there to see it.
I've also been to the Dominican Republic.
That's the place I was thinking.
Dominican
That would've
Republic,
driven me nuts.
I saw my first cockfight in the Dominican Republic, and I was actually talking about it with someone at work, and we're thinking about trying to start up a cockfighting, sort of Friday night or Saturday nights. Get some cocks and have them fight big cocks, to win. So
Sweaty cocks too.
sure, they can be sweaty if they have to be, but cockfighting is one of the best things of all time. If you haven't experienced it, then I suggest you go find your nearest cockfight and put some money down.
But my favorite one, where else I've been? I've been to Galveston, Texas. I would want to say I love Texas. I love it. San Antonio I've been to. I'd say San Antonio is my favorite.
My favorite part of Texas is Austin.
No, I've never been to Austin. But
Austin is like the hip,
sure, the music capital.
Correct.
all
Oh,
that stuff.
it's nice.
CV Gun 123 says for McLovin, what moves do the 49ers have to make to be relevant the soonest?
So, talked about this last night on the Fantasy Football Show. Basically, I was there for many years of losing, and then I left, and they became a Super Bowl team, and then really it starts with the ownership, and I can tell you that firsthand. The York family, okay, was owned the San Francisco 49ers. And just because Eddie D, the Hall of Fame owner, had to turn it over to his sister, who then turned it over to her husband, John York, who is an idiot, to say the least. He's stupid. I think in one year with Dennis Erickson, he had the last call in the last 4 roster spots. And I'm telling you for real, this guy is a fucking idiot. He didn't know what was what. He's a weirdo. Then, in turn, they turned it over to Jed York, who is, about my age. He's way over his head. No one respects him. He's a kid. He wants to be his uncle. He'll never be his uncle. That's where it all starts, is ownership. Now, the next thing is Trent Baalke, who is a close friend of mine, and I worked for Trent. He is one of the best personnel guys in the country, in the NFL. Unfortunately, he's going to lose his job. I would hate to see him lose his job. I think choosing Chip Kelly as a head coach was terrible. They haven't done anything in the draft. They haven't done anything in the offseason. But basically, where it all starts with every other NFL team is they need a quarterback. They need a quarterback, and no one's going to win in this league without a quarterback. And Colin Kaepernick they're going to get rid of him. They don't really have anyone to step up. So once San Francisco gets a quarterback, they have a decent running game. Then they can attack the defense next because the defense has a lot of holes, but they need a quarterback.
Tammy Johnson, not really a question, suggestion. She goes, first off, hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm hoping to spend my New Year's Eve maybe at Twin Rivers. Here's her idea. Maybe some of your YouTube subscribers can be your scratch ticket guests. That would be interesting. I'm sure you have a few Masshole fans like me. Take care, enjoy your vacation. Yeah, we'll think about that.
Well, that's another one of those ideas that we were thinking about for the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up is the B Menyo. The B Menyo says, who is your favorite Boston athlete, past and present? Now, Kenny, you're not really a Boston fan, correct?
Yeah, I'm really not.
So you're
Can
out.
we adjust the question for Kenny?
No.
Just say who's his favorite player, past and
fine.
present.
Let's do that.
Past and present. David Wright. I mean, as far as the Mets go, that's present.
In general.
In general.
All sports. All four teams you root for.
Wow.
Marino?
I was thinking
That was him. Yeah.
So Dan Marino, all right? And David Wright would be present.
For sure, Larry Bird, one of my heroes. He's on the Mount Rushmore for Boston sports, and I'd have to say number 2, Tom Brady. I think you can't go wrong with those two.
So it's tough for me. Past, my favorite player in the past that I remember seeing, because I was 4 when Larry Bird was winding down, or 5 or whatever it was. When did he retire? 90?
Yeah, 92.
92, yeah. So, I didn't really care back then. I would say, though, back then, when I knew what was going on, it would have to be Mo Vaughn on the Red Sox.
Oh.
That's my favorite player past.
The hit dog.
The hit dog. And then the present was, it's tied. It's so, man, because David Ortiz did something that no other, without him, we don't win shit.
Right.
I'm
surprised you didn't know something.
Well, he's not past.
Right,
Technically he is.
He is, technically. Right.
But he's talking past.
Right.
But David Ortiz is present. Technically, he's present.
Okay.
And Tom Brady. Those two.
Yeah.
Those two are so fucking close. Let's see. Next one. Money in the Bank. Where's Carter? Do you hate Carter? Carter. Okay. No, I don't hate him.
Who's Carter?
Josh Carter.
Josh Carter.
Oh,
Carter moved away for a while to New Hampshire. His dad was sick,
Right.
and everything else. And he came back recently, but he's always been. I don't really have. I don't have the ability to get in touch with him really.
Mm-hmm.
We're not friends on Facebook anymore, based on something that has nothing to do with our relationship. It had to do with work
Sure.
and all this other stuff. Back then, I really don't have a way to get a hold of him.
I've always had a good relationship with Josh Carter. He was. I worked with him for about a year and a half. Have no problems with him. I always hope to see him more often. I know he's back, working with a couple other guys we used to work with locally. So I wish him the best. Yeah, I don't have I think I have his cell phone. I might give him a text now that you said that.
Well, he's been saying it for months.
I'm still friends with him on Facebook. although
Sure.
I haven't
Who's
messaged
been
him
saying it
yet.
for months?
Just Money in the Bank.
Okay. I didn't.
Dick Thomas, question: do you think you are important or famous or just lonely? Well, Dick, I think that I fucked your mother last night and she was fucking horrible. Leo Sagos. Leo Sagos says, how old are you guys, Kenny?
56?
Whoa.
Yeah, how old did you think I was?
I thought you were like 48, 47.
Oh, God, I love you.
56, ladies. How
56,
sexy can you get at 56?
Look at that with the chest hair
Oh,
popping out.
God.
I am 34.
And I'm 32, turning to be 33 January 10th. Same birthday as Winnie.
Nice.
Jay Schreffler. Jay Schreffler says, question, do you think Glasses has ever had a dream where he was eating chocolate pudding and woke up with a spoon in his ass?
I'll probably be speaking to him later today. I'll be sure to pass that question.
We
on
should
to-
call him.
Yeah.
What's he doing right now?
He's working.
I don't care. Call him.
No, I'm not calling. him.
Oh, come on.
No.
Oh, come on.
No. But I will
gay.
be sure to ask.
I hope that's true.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if this is a real. I don't know if this is a real amount, but Yulia, if it is, this is pretty big. Question: do you realize that you have lost over $10,000 combined in all your lottery ticket videos, including the full pack tickets before STT started? No, I didn't. I didn't know it was that high.
Wow.
That's fucking a lot.
That
10
is a
grand
lot.
in how many years? 2 years? It's $5,000 a year. That sounds about right. Because you've got to think, we're buying. Forget the packs. You have a calculator. Do 140.
She probably
It's a guy, I think, but anyway.
whatever. Hey, in order to win big, you got to play big.
Right.
But no, that's pretty good because I need to figure all that out. I'd like to figure that out at one point. I don't know, Yulia. Please comment in the comment section below if you actually sat there and watched
That could be about right.
towards the end and just make sure. Sleuth DM says. Let's see here. Let me write his name down because we're doing this contest. Sleuth DM says, seeing that you guys like to gamble a bit, do you ever go to a casino? If so, maybe some live play on the slots if they allow it, like they do in Pennsylvania. Kenny?
I've gone to a casino or two in my time.
Yeah.
Very much so. Been to Vegas. I don't know how many times when I used to live out in California. More for the sports book, but I typically just play blackjack. I go to Mohegan Sun, and I go to the Foxwoods. I haven't been to the Twin River. I know that's right on the border of Rhode Island and Massachusetts, but whenever I get a chance, I like to go. But right now it's hasn't been a good time to go to the casino. But when I do, I play blackjack.
I love the casino. I don't really go as much as I would like because I'm lazy and don't want to drive anywhere. But poker is what I play if I ever go. I went once to Foxwoods. I was underage. I was in college. I was 20. And I won $1,500 playing blackjack. And I was really lucky because the pit boss, kept coming over. And I was beating everything. And I think he imagined I was counting cards, so he kept an eye on me.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, fuck. And I had aces, and I split them. Okay? And I got like a 3, and I got like a 5, and I ended up losing on one.
So you're playing blackjack?
I was playing blackjack,
Oh, okay.
and the one time I majorly won anything, the biggest amount I've ever won was playing blackjack. I walked out with $1,500. I was up like 22 at one point.
Wow.
Until I split those aces or whatever the hell was going on. And then I gave all my chips to my friend and said, cash these in. I'm not,
Right.
I got lucky. Dick Thomas, next video, Andy's going to give you his thoughts from the bathroom while taking a dump. I may. Terry Marcotte asked a question that says plate flippers. Do you know what that is?
No
I have
idea.
no idea what that is. It doesn't count as a question. All right, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. He says, what football positions would you, Kenny, and McLovin play if you were on the same team? Or who would win in a last man standing fight to the death between you, Kenny, and McLovin and throwing glasses too? The first question, let's go to the football. If we were all on the same team, what positions would we play?
Kenny would be a wide receiver.
Thank you. That's exactly
Andy
what I
would
want.
be nose tackle, nose guard, or because he's built like Vince Wilfork, and it's a compliment. He plays low to the ground. He can play with good leverage. He's a good athlete. He's got good feet, so he could get right underneath the center and clog up some lanes. Me, I don't know, tight end maybe, or maybe safety. I don't know, but for sure those how I'd peg these two guys.
Who would win in the last man standing fight to the death?
Now, glasses is out of the question.
Yeah, glasses. The first one
You'd be
dead.
the first one out.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot of rage. I know you have a lot of rage.
Yeah,
I think honestly, I think it'd be between me and McLovin.
Yeah.
I don't know who would win that.
it would. I mean, it'd be tough. I mean, just anything in sight type of rage, or like just hand to hand combat.
It says last man standing fight to the death. So
Could be anything.
I mean, yeah.
If that
I'm
ever
sure
went-
there's no guns involved.
No, clubs.
Because then it wouldn't be a fight.
chairs,
It'd just be a shootout.
chairs.
Yeah,
sure.
I'd give it to Andy if
Really?
it was me.
Yeah, all right. Vadix99, what's the prize of your entire video game collection? I think the prize. Ooh.
What do you like the most? What's your prize?
Yeah, well, no, prize like the, what's the, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought he said, I thought he meant the right price.
Price, yeah, no. What are you most proud of?
Prize, boy. I don't, my rarest game is for the Game Boy. Goes for about $1,400. It's the most expensive game I own. I don't know. I don't really have a prize. I mean, I collect everything. I would say that I'm happy that I have a 3DO system in the box,
Okay.
a Virtual Boy system in the box. That's pretty big. Mass Scratch. Ask a question, what kind of sales do you do? Real estate sales. And so does McLovin and Kenny. They're all doing real estate. Super Minnesota Man, what do you do for work? Real estate. Super Minnesota Man. Kabraki 1. Are you and McLovin a couple? Yes. And Chandrika Henry. Let me write her down. Chandrika Henry. What's the most you ever won on a scratch off, Ken?
On a single ticket?
I'm sure, yeah.
I think I won 500 years ago.
Okay, McLovin?
500. Remember remember that day? It was I won it at, you were at Carter's party, and I went up, the guy that was, I rolled down the window and I said, how do you like them apples?
Yeah.
And that was 500.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, it was also 500. I was underage again. How old was I? 15? And I was able to buy a ticket. I just couldn't cash it in.
Okay.
I got lucky with the fact I was able to buy it, but I won $500. It was one of those first $10 tickets or $20 tickets back in the day when they first came out.
Okay.
I was 14, 15. I won 500. It was a win all. Was it a win all? No, I think it was how, I forget what denomination, how it went out, but it was $500. It's the most I've ever won. And that is the question and answer session video. So again, all you guys who ask a question will be automatically entered, even the trolls who asked a question. And yeah, pretty cool stuff. Updated stuff. We'll be doing a scratch ticket contest all next week. Scratch ticket Thursday. We will have the last week of the football season next Wednesday. And hopefully everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I may be doing a special Christmas scratch ticket Sunday, or Sunday for Christmas, yeah. And that's that. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Bye.